Discover the advantage of unlimited access to all the stories and resources from IBJ and Inside Indiana Business. From insights to inspiration, business leaders rely on the IBJ for all things Indiana business. Start your $1 a week trial now at ibj.com/trial offer.
Kristen, Dame. I have been efforting for the last 2 months to be part of a community. I was welcomed with open, sweaty arms, and now I feel well entrenched in the hot Pilates community. Joining me now are non-members of my community, Kristen Elanius and Damian Dunn. Hello, friends.
Good day.
I don't know that we're friends. That was kind of mean, but go on.
Are you a member of the hot Pilates community?
You and I both know that that's not why you said it like that. That was a slight.
Okay, listen, friends. On Tuesday morning or Thursday morning, no one knows. Was it yesterday? At Hot Pilates, we had a bit of a moment. Good morning, Reverend Renfro. Hello, Chris. Hello, David. Post-class, me and my community members. A young Pilates girl. She's 24-ish. I don't know.
Woman.
Yeah. I'm
full grown.
Girl.
Full grown woman.
So fit, like most of us in there. And she comes up to me after class, I assume for a little sweaty high five. Hey, Jason. And she says to me, are you Pete the Planner?
Oh, no.
And I said,
No,
I'm Pete Pilates.
I said, I am. And she said, oh my God. And then, okay, so I'm going to pause for a second. I'm going to pause the story here. You guys, I felt like such an imposter in this hot Pilates class because I'm the oldest and malest. But I'm really liking it. I feel good. It's great. But I don't want to, I just want to do the work.
Yeah.
But I do want to feel a part of this thing.
Sure.
You know? And so she made me feel that way. She said, oh my God. And I said, I'm sort of like, I'm blushing a little bit, right? I'm like, hey, kind of a big deal here. And then she said, my dad loves you. He's going to die. And then she said, and this is the phrasing that really sent me, I don't know who you are. And I was defeated.
she knows well enough because she knows what you look like. And
No,
her dad's a listener of the show.
I think her dad's a listener.
Out in your hot Pilates class.
I think her dad's a listener.
Okay.
And there's limited bulbs, you know?
That's so funny.
It's the don't. I don't know who you are. And I don't expect her to, but it was this moment like, and I'm no one. I'm just a sweaty man 2 days a week. And I mean, if she would have like, my mom loves you, that would have been cool. My dad loves you.
Don't know who you are.
And by no expectation do I care that a young 24-year-old girl is like, oh, I love you. I don't care. I'm an old man. It sucked.
Can you imagine if I went to class with you next Thursday morning?
I'd be so confused. Oh my gosh. Are you Damian? Dane?
Exactly. There we are. I know exactly who you are.
Yeah, Dame Ramsey.
Don't start those again.
Oh, those are the best. Dame Matthews Band.
Jim Damer is my favorite.
Damon Blaine.
Crocodile Dame D.
Oh, that's good too. Jim Damer's the best. All right. Well, speaking of Dame being an influencer for magic, he came up with this week's topic, and I because he saw it in a Wall Street Journal article.
Yeah.
Dame, I've talked about this on the show. John says his grandpa loves me in the chat, and I find that to be something. Hello, Tom. Dame, I've tried to subscribe to the Wall Street Journal so many times, and for some reason, digitally, it will not let me do it.
We've tried to help you with a workaround for this, and it seems like you refuse all of the best advice, and you are just happy to have me send you gifted articles when you need to read them.
I read a book about Rupert Murdoch about a month ago, and I think he's upset that I read the book because it was sort of an expose, and he doesn't support it, so he will not let me subscribe to the Wall Street Journal.
Could be.
I think it's personal. Jeremiah, greetings. Just got done lifting my Tahoe. Okay. I had my friend J.O. from St. Louis text me post-show last week to talk about lifted trucks and off-roading.
Oh, my.
And she's with me. She just doesn't get it, and I don't get it, and I stay by. And I'm going to go a little further this week. And this will lock in for several of you who I am as a person. I don't get 4x4s, ATVs. Like, I don't get it.
Okay.
It's sad, I know, but I get it. They all seem like death traps, every single one of them.
Live a little. Goodness gracious.
I would jump out of a plane, but I'm not getting on a four-wheeler. Or the parachute. Okay. Dame, can you talk about the motorcycles, Jason? No. I'd yell at Ed for a friend's e-bike this week, so probably not.
Would you sit in a sidecar on a motorcycle?
Stop.
Who's driving?
Me.
Yeah, I trust you with my life.
Thanks.
Dame, can you explain the motivation or the inspiration, I should say, for today's show?
So we often hear or see, if you're on social media, about different demographics saying that, man, we have it harder than anybody financially. And that other group, they had it so easy. Well, the Wall Street Journal attempted to dig into this and say, who wins the generational grudge match? Boomers or millennials? Who had it rougher? And so they compare a number of different categories, and we're going to review those and see if we can come to a conclusion amongst ourselves. Does it line up with the Wall Street Journal? Maybe we'll uncover a couple of ideas here, but the idea is maybe things aren't quite as different as you thought, and things kind of stunk in similar ways for both groups.
So we're going to anger everyone.
Yes.
Good.
Ooh.
Okay, well, let's anything else you guys got going you want to chat through?
I just want to point out that Jeremiah says he's got KO2s on his Tahoe. Those are aggressive tires. Great choice. Super heavy. Going to kill your fuel mileage if you haven't noticed already.
If someone said I have KO2s, oh, go ahead. Sorry, Kristen.
It couldn't have been great before. Like, what's he really out to lose?
It will significantly go down. Noticeably.
If someone said I have KO2s, I would go to my blood panel and see what supplements I needed to take. What are KO2s? For tires?
It's a tire, yeah.
Can I bring up what I brought up right before we went to air? Because I think it's funny.
Yeah, if you want to do it, I think it's hilarious as well. But go ahead.
It's terrible, but it's so funny.
Yeah.
All right. I think it's awful. It's so absurd, but I can't stop laughing at it. All week long, I've been texting the phrase to my wife. The Pope is soft on crime. It's the funniest phrase ever. It's so ridiculous, and I can't stop laughing about it. And I know I shouldn't. Because who's that one guy that was super mad at us for me doing?
Pete's doing a great job.
Yeah.
Everybody's happy with
That
it.
guy was so mad. So is he going to be upset that I think that the Pope is soft on crime is literally the funniest thing ever said, even though it's wildly crazy?
I think he said he was done with you. So
So he doesn't.
I
Okay.
hear you're fine.
Well, I mean, being soft on crime is an easy position to have if you live behind a wall.
You think that's it? I guess I'm on a media detox. Have I shared this with you?
No, but I'm glad to hear it.
I'll tell you out in the break, but it is a concerted effort to change my mentals. So on a detox, and it's working. It's working. Okay.
Good. I've took that tact probably a couple of years ago and largely have stuck with it. And
As we stream to the medias.
Well, here's the
All
thing, guys.
kinds.
I did an audit of my behavior. It was wild. It was wild. I went into like my apps. We'll get there. Okay. You ready to go? In 3, 2, 1. This week on the Pete the Planner Show, we answer your money questions. Here's how the show works. You email us, askpete@petetheplanner.com. That's askpete@petetheplanner.com. And here's what will happen if your question is so compelling. Now, I mean, generally, we're going to answer your question on the air and turn it into a show. This week, that's not what we're doing. One of my co-hosts found a wonderful piece in the Wall Street Journal. We're going to talk about it today. That co-host is not Kristen Elenius, but she is here. Hello, Kristen.
Hello, Pete.
Damian Dunn, no relation, was the finder of said article. Hello, Dave.
it was more like delivered to me in email, and all I had to do was look at it.
Okay, here's what we're going to do the entire show. This just occurred to me. I think this is a really good idea.
Oh.
Dame, this entire show, you call me Peter, and I'm going to call you Damian.
Okay. All right.
I don't know why. Seems like I get it. Damian, set up this article. What is it? What's happening, Damian?
All right, Peter. We often hear that different demographics have different feelings about how they were served their financial life, the circumstances that they were given to succeed in this country financially. Who has it tougher? Is it this group? Is it that group? And we often hear it's between millennials and boomers. I see a lot of finger pointing between those groups on social media, at least. And the Wall Street Journal dug into this. They compared a number of different categories and said who might actually have stake to claim here. We're going to dig into that article and see, do we agree with the conclusions? Maybe there's something they forgot about. And does somebody actually have bragging rights to say, yeah, our financial life sucks more than yours? Well, we'll see.
So, Kristen, I love the concept. I think it's really important to get some numbers out there of what time periods are we talking about for boomers and what time are we talking about for millennials. So I did a little work there. I don't know if you did too. Any thoughts?
So the top of the article, their definition, which is probably what we should be using. So they have baby boomers born between 46 and 64.
That's what I have.
Okay. And so that's not you guys?
Barely. No, thanks.
Okay.
In mentally, Damian and I are.
And then millennials 81 to 96.
Okay. And then we're also talking about the window of when they're trying to get their life going, which we believe is 30 to 35, right, Dame? 30 to 35 years old.
Correct. So
it's to say for boomers, this is between 1980 to 1990, sort of when they're in their 30s. And for millennials, really in that 2020 range to now, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so do everyone feel good? What we're doing, we're saying, who had it worse when they were in their 30s, the current millennials or boomers? And I tell you, it's a pretty good fight.
Yeah, I think you've nailed it, Peter.
Thanks, Damian. Kristen, before we get into like the particulars of this thing, do we need any rules of engagement? Do we need to like set this up contextually?
Are you worried that we're going to offend more people? Like, I feel like there's something specific you're hoping that I say.
No, I want everyone to be angered.
Okay.
No, I just like, for me, like the context of what are the major events that millennials had to go through versus what are the major events that boomers had to go through? Like, what are these big things?
Well, I think that's part of the challenge in the article. And I don't want to get too deep into this before we start talking about maybe some of the categories. But I mean, depending on when you entered the workforce, we just mentioned 2020. That wasn't the most ideal time to be graduating college, if you recall.
It was not. So millennials, to Kristen's point, Damian, COVID being a big factor for millennials here. And then, of course, Kristen's point, the Great Recession on top of that. Boomers didn't necessarily, though, have it easy when they were doing this either, though, Dave.
No, they and you often hear this is, well, the inflation. Well, yeah, it was serious. They had double-digit inflation. Mortgage rates were like as high as 18% in some cases. I mean, you thought housing was expensive now or is expensive now. Try facing 18% mortgage rates. That puts a bit of a wrinkle onto it.
Yeah, I think what's interesting about that is we had temporary inflation spikes over the last few years. They were sort of an intermittent, and then we get upset when they tip above 4% across the board, and there's Fed action. Then we're talking double-digit inflation for a prolonged period of time, and then the mortgage rates are insane. 18% is 3x what mortgage rates are today. I don't know if we will do this later in the show, but we'll buy ourselves some time and we'll give you the purchase of a home based on those interest rates, just so you can contextualize what 18% is. So those are sort of the warts of the millennials, warts of the boomers. Kristen, everyone struggled. They're just how they struggled. They're just different ways.
Yes, and because when we talk about double-digit interest rates for mortgages, do you know where my mind immediately goes?
Okay, say it again. I want to make sure I'm answering your question. What is it?
You guys are like, well, mortgage rates were 18%. Like, that was really hard to buy a house. My immediate counterpoint is
Student loans.
No, it's that house prices were so much cheaper.
Oh,
no, it's that.
Oh,
Yeah, but
let us keep guessing. Come on, we've got 3 more segments. We're gonna nail it. Dame, you're up next. What's the next guess?
I don't know.
the benefit to that high interest rate environment is if you had the cash, what were you earning on your money?
Oh, I thought you were going to say that particular pope was soft on crime.
Yeah.
Oh, probably him.
Just kidding. Clearly kidding. Oh, yeah.
Because
I mean,
I used to hear that all the time in my short stint as an advisor is clients would come in and say, there's got to be somewhere better that we can put our money, 2-3%. It's just not cutting it. And then the next thing I would say to them is that I'm frozen. Could you hear me or could you not?
No, we got you.
Okay, good deal. Because Damian is still frozen on my end.
Yeah.
We're just sorry.
I think I'm back.
The next thing that I would say would be, okay, but the money that you're borrowing is so much cheaper. So I just think even in the context of the expense of financing is a really important part of that conversation.
Dame, let's start to get to the scorecard a little bit here. Okay, we got a lot to unpack. I want to set up income this way, Dame, and Damian, help me a little bit.
Thank you.
Are millennials actually making less money than boomers were when they were their age?
It would seem like it based on headlines, wouldn't it? Or what we see and we feel. But after you adjust for inflation, not really. It's really actually pretty similar. Millennials today were making roughly $70,000 to $75,000 in median income. Boomers, same age, 65 to 70 after adjustment for inflation. It's really, really close.
I have to admit, that shocks me. Kristen, when you saw that, did that shock you?
To my core, gentlemen, I don't think that was not what I expected at all.
How much? What did you think the delta was going to be between those two?
So
20K, 20 for me.
Well, okay, wait a minute. Maybe where my logic kind of falls apart and why I thought this, these were median household dollars.
Oh.
Okay, yeah.
That is probably why that's not what I expected. I was thinking of like the income earner, because we all know that the income earning of a household looks very different from what it did in the 70s versus what it does today.
I think that's a really, really important point.
I think that's why I was so shocked. That's not where I was going with it.
What? Okay. Well, maybe isn't the answer then how many average earners are in the current millennial household versus how many average earners were there in the boomer household at their age?
I think that has to be part of the the overall conversation.
Okay. Well, we're going to keep that going. So coming up after the break, more on income, housing, college and debt, all those things on the Pete the Planner Show. Who had it worse, millennials or boomers? That's next. That's next.
Scott Roddy is really upset with me. I'm so sorry.
Scott Roddy would say you have to end with the call letters.
Oh.
This is the Pete the Planner Show on 1430 WXNT. That's what you're supposed to say. Speaking of radio, so our producer of our podcast, if you will, for IBJ, or the podcast czar of IBJ, Chris Spangle, sent me a note this week, and we've got some sponsors coming up next month. So he's like, hey, can you cut these ads? And so, Dame, I've cut a bazillion ads. I like to do it. It makes me feel cool, and I'm not. And so I cut this ad and I sent it back, and it's polished. It's so good. And he sent me back an LOL and said, yeah, can you actually cut it down so it fits within a commercial? Like, I was so used to podcasting, I was just spinning a tail. It's embarrassing. I was like, hi, everyone, it's Peter Nicholas Dunn. And it's just like, I took my time and was breathing.
LOL.
And then he was like, what are you doing? I was like, I'm sorry, I don't know, but I got carried away. And I cut 9 seconds out of it. I reread it. And the other thing is, I don't have this on good authority, but I have a pretty good hunch. I think some of the live reads that come up out of my brain are being sunset for red reads.
So are you reading ads for other shows on IBJ?
I don't know. They just, here's the thing in the biz. They tell you to do a read, you read it. I don't know where it goes.
No.
Oh.
Guys, I'm on a media diet, and I want to talk to you about why. My anxiety over the last 2 weeks of life has been so sky high. And I was sort of like, look, what's going on in my life that makes me feel this way? I feel like I was overstimulated, as the kids say. I was overstimulated.
Yeah.
Kristen, have you ever been in that situation?
Been overstimulated?
Yes.
I fear every moment of my day.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you've got a young child. I mean, you just had to be in my office and hear the chiropractic infants on the other side of the wall getting cracked up, and they are stimulated.
There's only one noise allowed in my home at a time. So if you're watching TV, you can't also be watching a video on your phone. No go.
Yeah, Dame, I know you did this for your own mental health and just like disenchantment with media. Was it based on overstimulation, or was it just based on disenchantment?
Probably yes, because it occupied too much of my mental space, and I was always going back and looking for an update here, an update there, and trying to find angles that led into my biases to comfort me, which isn't helpful either. And so I just got to the point where it's like, this isn't healthy. There's nothing I can do about it. So as long as I feel like I've got a basic knowledge of what's going on, I don't have to dig into the details. So I pretty much pulled the ripcord a couple of years ago, and I don't pay much attention to news cycles or what's going on.
Jason asks, speaking of media diet, is the Pope is soft on crime an actual quote or a joke? Jason, the President of the United States posted on Truth Social, the Pope is soft on crime. And then the following line was, and everyone knows it. Okay, so here's my issue. And this is a very special Pete the Planner show today. Remember, like on Blossom or Different Strokes, when they had a serious topic? Kristen's face.
No.
Dame, very special topic.
Yes.
I don't even know what Blossom is.
Okay, Dame, take her through Blossom. Take her through special episode. Go ahead.
Blossom. I don't even remember the setup of that show, but it was the lady who plays. She's on Big Bang Theory. The one of the PhD.
Maya Bialik.
Maya Bialik.
Oh,
yeah, a wonderful actress.
She was a quirky teen.
Yeah.
And they were dealing with sensitive issues for quirky teen girls. But anyway, Dame, special episode. What did it entail?
It was always this little bumper where they were going to deal with a serious topic. Like, do you remember seeing the clips from the Saved by the Bell where Jesse gets addicted to caffeine pills?
Yeah. I'm so excited.
That's the one.
I'm so
I'm so tired. Scared. Yes.
I'm so scared.
Yeah. And so they're trying to address like these real, genuine, serious issues. But they always thought they needed a disclaimer, maybe to try and get the parents to watch too, so they could be there to explain things or answer questions for their kids. And so when there was going to be a genuinely serious topic, it was on a very special Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Carlton gets rejected from no, I don't know.
Yeah.
But it happened frequently. Well, maybe not frequently, but you got your attention.
So here's a very special Pete the Planner show. Okay. On September 11th, 2001, I was ironing my shirt to get ready to go to work because I was 22 or whatever I was, and I was just 24. And I was watching the Today Show, and then everything started happening, and I just sat there and watched it and watched it and watched it and watched it nonstop until like 3 a.m. on September 12th. That was so traumatic for me that it sent me into like a deep depression for like 6 months, where I was just so feeling and seeing, and it was awful and awful and awful. Well, a couple of weeks ago, as I'm overwatching all the Iran war stuff, I was like, I know this feeling. What? Oh my gosh. And so I had to like pull out. I had to like, because here's the math. Every morning, I read a lot in the mornings anyway. I was doing 4 to 5 newspapers a morning here up until like 2 days ago. And then I do 4 or 5 news or political podcasts a day on top of that.
No.
Guys, I know. And it wasn't even the social media aspect of it, because I don't really get too much into that, although I'll flick through YouTube shorts or whatever just for fun, but that's not healthy either. It was just, I was just way too much. And you could hear it on the show of like these big opinions, and I have a lot of passion around it, which not that I shouldn't. But so I'm just like, all right, I'm not reading any news. I'm allowing myself one view a day, if you will. And no podcasts. I'm only doing audiobooks and yacht rock. That's where I'm at right now.
And of course, you're getting your news from IBJ.
Well, yeah, that doesn't count because it's local business news as opposed to the world is ending news.
Yeah, but I think you'll be happier if you just stick with IBJ.
Anyway, there's some very special. You're still consuming Boss Hog of Liberty every week, like Spangling you. So that's Jeremiah. I'm not listening to your show again until I'm on it. I'm just telling you right now. I clicked on one episode. It was 9 hours long. I was like, I can't do this.
I think he's invited all of us at least individually.
Not true.
I'll do it. I think I would enjoy it, but maybe when I'm back on the media, I don't know. Anyway, point. My recovery and my whoop strap for my sleep and everything, the last 2 nights without all media, green.
Really?
Both days.
Oh no.
I'm serious.
It doesn't track your blood pressure, does it? There's no way for that to do that.
There's like a beta thing where it can, but my blood pressure was wild high the last couple of weeks. I could feel it.
Yeah.
I was just so upset.
But
do you have a cuff at home? A blood pressure cuff?
Yeah, I thought you meant like a cool like steampunk cuff that I wear themed parties.
Brass. Yeah.
I want to start wearing steampunk stuff.
I think you should.
Okay. I've got to keep going. 3, 2, 1. Back on the Pete the Planner show. Who had it worse, the boomers or the millennials? That's the question everyone asks every time they see me. Like, look, I was once on a train to Switzerland from New York, and a man said to me, who had it worse, millennials or boomers? And I said, we're going to talk about that on the show. You tune in. Then we went into the ocean. So Dame, Wall Street Journal had an article about this week. Kristen, you and I just established that for inflation-adjusted income, believe it or not, millennial households and boomer households around the age of 30, inflation-adjusted, had about the same income. So let's get to where this starts to get a little stranger. Housing. There's good and bad in either sides. Damian, boomers, what was their housing reality?
Housing reality was the price of the house was much more in line with what the median income should be able to afford. Average $70,000 home price for that time period that we were looking at. the income that they list here, even though we just said the inflation adjusted was 70 something, we dial it back to what the income was then, was around 21,000. So about 3 1/3 times the average income was what the house was going to cost. The catch, and it's not insignificant, 15 to 18% mortgage rates.
Yeah, that's pretty big catch. Yeah, like the 3.3x a person's income, great. That's pretty great, pretty reasonable. But then you try to buy a house with those interest rates, Kristen, it's prohibitive, cost prohibitive.
When do you, either of you know, I didn't do this in my research, which I probably should have, is when did those interest rates start to come back down?
It's a fair question. I don't know the answer to that off the top of my head.
Because I almost view behaviorally, and I know that I'm trying really hard to not show my bias, obviously, because I'm a millennial, but from a behavioral perspective, I almost kind of view it as a positive of like, you're forced into this high interest rate payment at the start of the loan. Depending on when interest rates start to fall, you've built that habit of like learning how to put such a high percentage of your income to your housing. Like, does that provide you more flexibility longer term?
Kristen, that's a really good point. It's almost, they were forced to kind of get weaned off those interest rates to their favor.
Yeah.
Because then they could put those, as they were refinancing, theoretically, they could then use that cash flow to their other priorities.
So if we were to take that $70,000 home value at an 18% interest rate, figuring 10% down, it's a monthly payment of just over $1,000.
For how much of a home? To 70?
70,000.
Okay, what would it be?
Dollar income.
So it's half your income.
Yeah. What would it be just for giggles here at 6%?
Compared to 6%, $452.
Okay. Guys,
That's rough.
that's a lot. Okay. Next, millennials. Damian, what are the challenges that millennials have from a housing perspective?
Have you looked at realtor.com lately, Peter?
Zillow.
Prices on housing have just skyrocketed. We've seen that. They got some kerosene poured on them during COVID and just took off. So right now, they're facing $400,000 plus home prices regularly. They've still got the $75,000 income that we talked about in the first segment. That ends up being 5 to 6 times the income, not 3, not low 3s, but double that, essentially 5 to 6 times their income. Interest rates are good though, 3 to 7%.
Okay, so let's do this. If you got a calculator there,
I do.
Are you using your Moneyline calculator?
I don't have that one pulled up.
Okay. So let's go 6%. I mean, we're trying to just have some consistency for whatever loan that you want. This 400,000, 10% down.
Okay.
And let's see what a percentage of a person's income might be with a payment.
That would be let's just call it $2,200 for round numbers.
Yeah.
I mean, that is a lot more affordable in terms of a percentage of an income for sure.
Yeah.
So how, you guys, who loses? Who had it harder?
In housing specifically?
Yeah, because I got to be honest, that percentage of income is wild.
Yeah.
For boomers.
I think that boomers had it harder, but my argument would be what?
I can't believe you said that.
My argument would be, though, that behaviorally that benefit them long term.
I agree with you there. Sometimes I'm shocked when you and I agree.
I would also argue that there weren't as many things clawing at the dollars of boomers when they were trying to make these housing purchases. So if they chose to enter into the housing market at that point, they could probably scrimp and save and stretch and try and figure out how to make it work. It wasn't going to be comfortable. That monthly nut was going to be really, really tough. But they could because they weren't scrolling online and buying stuff and student loan payments for themselves or their kids, and just a lot, in my opinion, easier to come up with some flexibility in the monthly household budget.
So let's get to one of those things that we're also barking for people's dollars. Kristen, college and debt. What was the boomers' reality when they were in that situation?
I fear in comparison, the boomer college cost might as well have been like nothing. I mean, it's not even comparable. So the inflation adjusted average tuition was $2,000 to $3,000 per year.
It's insane.
It's not even comparable.
All right. So then, and the reality is, it's like, well, how do you pay that off? Sometimes people just funded their college education with work while they were going to school. I mean, that's wildly common. I danced.
Oh,
we're this on a very special and I did not dance. Damian, as a lot of people call him, not the same for millennials.
No. Much different landscape when we're talking college tuition, let alone out of state experiences. At least 10 grand a year for tuition in state these days.
Oh, it's not even these days, it's millennials.
Oh yeah, exactly right. So for millennials, there's around $10,000 at least a year for millennials. They graduated with over 30 grand of student debt, whereas that was, graduating debt was with debt was unheard of for boomers for the most part.
Kristen, I don't know if this is occurring to you, but if you try to think about the concept of education, and each generation benefits from the education society obtains, and so the spirit of learning and knowledge, how is it that the millennials got the shortest end of the stick as it relates to education and what it does for you? How is it like the only experience that exists that doesn't get more efficient and less expensive? It gets more expensive. I don't actually understand that.
I don't either. And I think that gets to the core of the perception of why things might feel harder is what felt like a huge push for advanced degrees or higher ed for millennials. And then the debt that comes with that and what that does to Damian's point, the squeeze on the discretionary dollars that are available to your household.
All right. So do we all agree going into the break here that from a college perspective, millennials had it way worse?
Of course.
Way worse.
Okay. So in comes a push. Maybe. Housing, boomers had it worse. College, millennials have it worse. Coming back after the break, wealth. That's the twist. And we'll tell you why right here on the Pete the Planner Show. I'm Pete the Planner.
You can't figure out why college is so expensive?
I can. I was about to say, right here on 1430 WXNT, it almost came out of my mouth. Can you imagine? Can you imagine that email? Dame, are you doing something fun this weekend? Are you getting in there and just having a little giggle?
No, we are going to be hanging close to home. The oldest Aqua Dunn had a little bit of knee surgery yesterday. So if you're keeping track at home, yes, both of my kids have had knee surgery this year. We have hit the out-of-pocket family max before. So we're trying to figure out what else we want to get accomplished medically for our family this year. But yeah, we'll just be hanging around house while we convalesce.
So when you guys budget, you deal with wants and needs?
Yes. I heard you.
Chris, you got any giggling this weekend? What are you doing?
Luke Combs is coming to Notre Dame this weekend, so we will be in attendance tomorrow to freeze, literally.
Okay. You didn't get the sweet package?
Ha ha.
Guys, I know Luke Combs is a country star,
Yes.
right?
Mhm.
Okay. I don't know anything about this person, but I would like to do a police sketch situation here where I describe Luke Combs to you.
Okay.
I have no idea what Luke Combs looks like.
This is funny and you don't know why, but go ahead.
Okay. I get the sense he looks like a bearded jelly roll before he lost the weight.
No tats.
Oh, no tats. How
He-
close am I?
You're not far.
Okay.
He's a bearded guy who wears a hat, who he's like a bigger guy, but like Jelly, I think
I think Jelly Roll was bigger than Luke.
Yeah.
Luke's an interesting dude. I mean, trucker hat and the flannelish type shirt that you would expect. Beards. Wears Rolexes.
He almost only wears that like Columbia fishing shirt.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
That's why it's funny because it's like he has one outfit.
Yeah,
like
you're right.
People will wear that to his concerts as like to be his doppelganger because that's all he wears.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Great. And you enjoy him?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. He was on Hot Ones and he ate every single wing and was fine.
On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being real twangy country, like, and 1 being Taylor Swift, what is he?
Like, I very middle of the road overall, I would say, like 5.
Who's the modern country artist that's a 10 on the backgammon dog dad? Who does that now?
Well, Red Dirt Country is like a category all of its own. So I would say like the Red Clay Strays would probably be like on that end of the spectrum.
Dame?
My area of expertise in country music is not nearly as deep as Kristen, so I will let her answer that one.
Zach Top is definitely a 10. He is what you think of when you think of like 90s, 80s country. He even dresses like it. So Zach Top for sure. Good call, Jeremiah.
I was made aware of a young woman artist, Ella something.
Langley.
Where's she on this? She sounds pretty twangy.
Ella? Love that for you.
I'm not an Ella fella.
You are. You're in the fan club. I already know.
Yeah.
I would say she leans. I would say like 7. I mean, she's
okay.
She's really country. Like her accent, like definitely. I don't know if it's dramatized for her songs or not, but yeah, she's definitely more toward the like authentic side of that.
Jeremiah makes a really good comment. Pete, since we are the same person at the same age, I'm sure you have a deep appreciation for Fast Car Tracy Chapman. He did a very, very commendable remake.
I heard that
together. Yeah,
I heard him appropriate her work.
Okay.
She gave permission.
I'm just kidding. Okay, let's do the show in 3, 2, 1. Back on the Pete the Planner show. Who had it worse in their 30s? Booms. Sorry. Boomers, baby boomers, or millennials? Financially, who had it worse? Here's what's happened so far on the show with Kristen Elenius and Damian done. First, income. It's kind of a wash. Inflation adjusted, it's a wash. In terms of housing, the 3 of us agree boomers actually kind of had it worse. There's a little bit of an angle to it, but we all agree boomers have it worse. Right, Damian? You said that too, right?
I did, Peter.
Okay, thank you. College and debt, we all agreed millennials had it much, much, much worse, which brings us to wealth. Like, how are people building wealth? And like, what's the downstream effect of this for people in their 30s? So, Kristen, where are we with this?
So for today's dollars, the millennial median net worth is about 135 to 150 versus our boomer counterparts just shy of that 6-figure number, like 90 to 100.
Okay. This is interesting. I don't. How is this inflation? Do we need to inflation adjust this?
It wasn't, she asked.
It's a great question.
I thought it was in our pre-show prep.
It is still surprising. I gotta think home equity on a big market boom's a big part of this.
And I think this kind of gets at what I feel like is the point that the article, and like often when we're having this conversation, what we're missing is But why does it still feel harder? Because we talked about the income was average household income. For me, I feel like the argument for me and my peers is, hey, by the way, we both work and we both feel like even with a dual income household, we went to college, we did the things that we were supposed to do. Look at how we're comparing 2 generations ago. Are we really doing any better, even though we feel like we're running a lot harder?
How much of that is cultural based on expectations and the conversation we've had the last couple of weeks about trying to replicate your parents' lifestyle you had when you were an adolescent?
I think that's so applicable and true and also just like general societal pressures. We talked about, Dame mentioned your discretionary income. I just view like the line between a want and a need across generations is a lot blurrier than it was 50, 60 plus years ago. Like, it's to say, okay, you could get away without having a house phone, or like, you don't have internet. Like, you can't not have those things today. Technically they're wants, but like, I can't earn an income without access to internet. And like, there are so many other examples of that. My household can't not be a 2-car household because we both work. It's like, so there are just those little things add up along the way. And I think is what causes the millennial to say, why am I not doing better than I am?
Dame, I have a really dumb statement I'd like you to reflect on and just put me in my place as you, Damian.
Thanks, Peter.
Okay. If, again, through the idea of like knowledge being passed on and theoretically like the knowledge base grows, the economy should have the next generation in a better spot. There should be more efficiency, How is it now that even as a percentage of income, it's wildly more expensive to live in this economy than it was to live in the economy for the boomers when they were in their 30s?
Inflation has done a number on it, but we've increased the productivity in the country by increasing the amount of labor that's available in the country, going from, we touched on this in a prior segment, from largely going from one income earner per household to whatever that's average is going to be for the households today. And when you ramp that up, more dollars are going to flood into the economy, cranking prices up. That's supply and demand, and you're going to reap the consequences of it. So through our desire to make things better for future generations, we made them a little bit tougher because there's just more available to us, and it's all more expensive.
You guys remember on the show when I used to look up at the ceiling and you guys would mock me? I hadn't done that for a really long time, and I just did it. That was weird. But you should mock me. Kristen, this just occurred to me.
Oh boy.
Pensions.
Yeah, we didn't touch on that at all, which makes the net worth conversation really interesting too, because you would expect that a millennial's net worth is going to be, I would expect that it's largely held between their primary residence and hopefully some sort of defined contribution account. So if there's not a lot of discrepancy between those two accounts, or between those two generations rather, there's no pension coming for a millennial.
Yeah, their 401k is a higher balance because it has to be. Dame, like, part of this of like who had it harder, it's kind of sweet if you just work and then you stop working and you keep getting paid. Like, that doesn't feel hard. That seems amazing.
It's kind of the dream, right? I mean, the paychecks just keep rolling in and you stop showing up to work. It's amazing. But it's a really interesting point that if the net worth is roughly equivalent at this point, and a good chunk of the assets for the boomers aren't tied up in 401ks or IRAs or anything like that, that looks a lot, the complexion of that is way different than what the average net worth is comprised of for millennials these days.
Jason just asked me a question that literally feels set up. How many people actually had pensions? People always act like everyone did, but my father's a boomer and he definitely didn't have it. Well, in 1975, 88% of people in the private sector had a pension. So there you go, Jason. No, I mean, like, that's a lot. Like, that is a significant portion. Here's here's the other thing that occurred to me, Kristen, of like, okay, different economies, different challenges, both hard in their own right.
Right.
But what's weird about financial knowledge that gets passed down from one generation to another or skips a generation? How can you give the same financial advice that worked for boomers to millennials because it's so wildly different, yet all these rules of thumb are based on how it used to be?
You can't. But the good news for those of us who care about our collective financial literacy is, for the most part, people aren't having those conversations across generations anyway. So you don't have to worry about them passing down bad advice. What happens with that, though, is the judgment, right? Again, I hear it all the time because there's 4 generations for both my partner and I now with Maggie. And like, so across those generations, it's like, there are really dramatic opinions about things we should or shouldn't do or pay for or save for. And I just don't feel like we have the same level of flexibility. So it's just like one ear and out the other.
Just for clarity there, Kristen, the 4 generations are your parents, you guys, and that baby of yours. Those are 3 generations. Wait, did you say 3 generations or 4?
We have grandparents still living.
And that's right.
Maggie has great grandparents.
That's where I forget that Dame and I are so much older than you.
Yeah.
Maggie's actually with her great grandpa today.
Andy asks a fair question. Why is the article ignoring Gen X? Because Gen X
reported it.
Yeah, Gen X wants to be ignored. Like, I feel like, Dame, you and I are kind of right on the tail end of Gen X.
Yeah,
you know?
we couldn't be bothered. That's why.
Don't care.
Yeah,
we're fine.
care.
Like, I think we have the greatest.
Yeah.
Like, if you did this with Gen X, it would basically say Gen X had it the best.
Oh.
Yeah.
By far.
I think so.
So I should be looking at the age of the person who wrote this article because they're one of you.
Wow.
To distract from the fact that they had it so good. It was like, oh, we got to leave this out of here.
Did you hear that in her voice?
What?
The elitism?
Oh.
The age shaming?
Yeah.
I mean, it was better than when I called you boomers earlier, right?
It doesn't bother me. I mean, my daughter calls me a boomer. My wife agrees.
Yeah.
Let's do this. Let's everybody calm down and just know that Gen X had it the best. And we're going to come back with biggest waste of money of the week and the news, which I don't know what happened this week because I stopped reading the news. All that's next on the Pete the Planner Show right here on the Pete the Planner Network. Kristen, don't give me that look.
Is that a thing?
It is now.
Okay.
I just bought the domain.
Stop. Did you buy Damian done? CFP.
Damian, I tried throughout the show. It's so hard to call you Damian, yet everyone in your life calls you Damian.
Yeah. The only people that call me Dame are your money line and my mom occasionally.
I'm so sorry.
It's all right. I've told this story. I don't want to guess how many times now, but before I worked here, I could count the number of people that ever called me that on one hand. And now that's like, that's my name on Slack. That's my name here. That's my name. It's my name to the dozens of people that listen to us on a weekly basis.
Daughters of Pilates or something like that. Yeah.
We apparently just do that to people as an organization because that's true for Jeej as well.
We? What do you mean we?
That's true. You do that.
I don't love that quality about myself. I don't.
Nobody calls her Gigi.
No, I call her Jeej. I do.
No, I'm saying in her like personal life, everyone calls her Jillian.
Oh.
No, she went by Gigi when she got here.
But I don't think I don't think that she knew what she was doing is my
I don't know. I know what you mean, Chris.
Don't do that.
I don't know. I don't know why I do that. I gave my best friend in like 5th grade a nickname and it stuck his entire life. Like, I don't know why I do that. I don't love it. I feel bad about it. It's really obnoxious. Here's an interesting long point that I'm going to read if my eyes will allow it. What are the chances that I can read this? Okay. Michael asks, I wonder if a good chunk of the frustration stems from how quickly the housing affordability picture turned sour in a good chunk of the country, house prices have more than doubled since 2018. Can I get a
Time out.
Was that your doorbell, Chris?
No, it's Dame's wind chimes.
I don't have wind chimes.
What was that sound? Did you guys hear
I
it?
thought it was wind chimes. I
don't
heard
know.
it.
I didn't hear anything.
Damian.
Okay. Anyway, Michael goes on to say other words. I don't know. It's too much. I can't read. Like, my eyes hurt, guys. I'm a boomer. I can't see in the teleprompter. Michael, thank you. I can't. All right. Damian, let's do the biggest waste of money of the week in the news.
Okay.
In 3, 2, 1. This week's biggest waste of money of the week, right here on the Pete the Planner Show, is the 1961 Ferrari 250 GT SWB California Spider, when Ferris Bueller convinced Cameron to take his father's Ferrari 250 GT California Spider out for a day across Chicago in 1986. He called it So Choice. 65 years later, the market agrees. Among the most celebrated road cars ever built, the California Spider was produced in just 56 examples between 1960 and 1963. And chassis number 2,955 is the 26th example built. It carries a 3-liter Colombo V12 paired with a 94.5-inch short wheelbase for sharper handling than the long wheelbase car it followed. 4-wheel disc brakes and Coney telescopic shocks, all clothed in coachwork by Scaglietti. Delivered now to, it doesn't matter. It's up for sale. Now finished in blue Scuro over Rosso leather with a silver hardtop. It carries Ferrari Classic Red Book certification with matching numbers throughout. It heads to auction. And so this is the starting bid for auction for this car. Kristen, you very obviously have to go first.
What?
Because Dame's going to know it.
That's what I'm saying. I wasn't even going to guess in protest because Dame probably knows. He's probably seen this auction site.
I don't even know where it's going up. But because when Pete originally said it was for sale, I was like, they're blowing it if it's not going to auction because the Ferrari market's gone bonkers.
Of course it is. Everyone knows that. Chris, what do you got?
That's so unfair. I hate this game. The starting bid for this incredibly rare car that's cool for some reason is $250,000.
Dame?
I mean, this has to be a $15 million car.
Starting bid?
Starting bid is $17 million.
Yeah.
Dane, what's in the news this week?
So here's something that'll either make parents proud or reach for their antacids. Brokerages like Schwab and Fidelity are now offering accounts where teens as young as 13 years old can trade stocks without needing a parent to approve each move. Now, to be fair, there are guardrails, no options trading like margin and stuff like that. But still, kids in the driver's seat on this. Then that's the shift. We've gone from dad manages the account to dad watches the account nervously. So the real question is, can the kids trade? It's, can they invest?
Pete and I look the same.
Yeah, it's confusing. I'm confused.
There's a difference between trading and investing.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Yes.
Yeah, the kids can trade. They can follow TikTok trends. They can do all that stuff. But can they? Do they have the fortitude to make good decisions on investing?
Who's doing this?
Lots of Fidelity, Schwab. I'm sure Robinhood's just around the corner.
He led the charge. I fear I may sound a little boomer in my take, which is this is a horrible idea.
Welcome.
Hate it.
Welcome.
Terrible.
Hey, the water's warm here. Yeah, it's a horrible idea. And I don't know, let's go extra boomer here. It feels AI-ish in the sense of like, once you open Pandora's box of saying, hey, this is what we're going to do, and then the downstream effects spiral out of control, teaching kids to day trade is a really bad idea.
Correct. Just get them accounts on whatever that company was that I invested in for the stock picks, and it'll be fine. Same thing.
Boy, you're a real advocate for that brand.
It was an umbrella. There were several within.
Dame, what else is in the news?
In a shocking development that surprised absolutely nobody who's ever tried to buy concert tickets, Kristen, a federal jury ruled just this week that Live Nation and its ticketing arm Ticketmaster illegally monopolized the concert industry.
No.
The case, brought by more than 30 states, argued that the company used its dominance to squeeze venues, limit competition, and quietly rise prices on fans. The jury agreed, saying, yeah, you overcharge people. The estimate of how much they overcharged people? Kristen, do you want to guess on how much?
I not only do I not want to guess, I just don't want to know.
Pete?
No one goes to concerts.
About $1.72 a ticket.
No.
What?
Which doesn't sound like much, because it's not, until you realize how many tickets they sell. Live Nation says they'll appeal, because of course they will.
Wait, okay. Isn't it just getting profit? I don't like $1.72 doesn't sound like price gouging to me. Doesn't that just seem like a business decision? What am I missing?
That's the $1.72 is kind of shocking on this. Like that's it. That's how much you think you influenced ticket prices. $1.72 a ticket.
Here's what's weird about this: if you had a monopoly, a true monopoly, or an oligopoly, yeah, you would charge a lot more than that.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
How'd they lose?
I don't know.
I know nothing about this clearly, but that doesn't seem like they should have lost.
Why didn't we just go after the dynamic pricing? Come on.
Well, maybe there's still time for you to be added to the list of people that are helping prosecute or not prosecute, but present this case.
Dame, what else is in the news?
Inflation showed up this week, Pete, and for once it didn't kick the door down. Wholesale prices, what businesses pay before it gets to you, only rose 0.5% in March. That's still up, but it was about half of what economists were expecting, which is interesting because this is happening at the exact same time energy prices are spiking from the war in the Middle East, and gasoline alone jumped double digits. So you've got this weird mix. The pressure's there, but it's not spreading everywhere just yet. Services were basically flat. Food prices actually dipped a bit. In other words, the economy is taking a hit, but it's not panicking.
The strangest part about this story, this is before my news blackout this week. I did see that, was it Warsh? Is that his name? Kevin Warsh?
Yeah, I think so.
The new head of the Fed, whenever all that whole thing goes down. I believe he suggested, or maybe Bessent did, that we should pause cutting rates right now after that report came out. And I was like, well, that doesn't seem consistent with what we've been hearing. Like, I agree with it. I do feel like there should a pause, if not a raise, potentially depending on what happens in Iran. But like, that was surprising.
I had seen somewhere where the indication was that future Fed action may be a bit harsher to what people are hoping for, which I assumed either meant raise rates.
Who the people? People is in terms of the Trump administration, or people being the people?
That's a great question. Probably yes to both of those.
Dave, do you happen to have one more as I blew through all your stories this week?
Super quick, because this one I think has a little bit of a personal interest angle for you, Pete.
Oh.
New Jersey Transit's plans to ratchet up the price of a round-trip ticket from New York Penn Station to New Jersey's MetLife Stadium are going to be about this much during this summer's FIFA World Cup.
$100.
It's an 18-mile rail journey, by the way, Kristen. It normally costs $12.90.
$100.
$150. $150. Of course, New Jersey is complaining because the FIFA's not helping kick in to support infrastructure, because they don't anywhere they go for the World Cup. It's just on the countries and the locations to figure that out.
In honor of the World Cup in the United States and Mexico and Canada this summer, we're going to do a series of questions I ask my co-hosts at the end of the show to see where they feel about the soccer community. Kristen, who wins this year's World Cup?
I wouldn't know a name.
Choose a name.
I don't know.
Choose it.
Country. Choose
No,
a country.
damn it.
Oh,
You
sorry.
ruined it, Dame.
Oh,
Go
sorry.
ahead.
Well, then I pick us.
Dame, who wins?
Not us.
Okay, great. Every week on the show, as I remember, so probably never again, we will do that series. Thanks, everybody. This was fun. I'm going to continue not reading the news. Sending you good vibes because good vibes are all that's in the budget. I'm Pete the Planner, and this is the Pete the Planner Show. Oh, I wanted her so bad to say, like, okay, Dame, shh, Kristen,
Okay.
name an English Premier League soccer team.
I was really trying to remember the name of the team that you were really into. Would that have been right?
Yeah.
And they got in trouble, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're about to get relegated.
Ooh, down to the Champions League.
No. The championship.
The Hotspurs. Right.
Yes, Tottenham Hotspurs.
Look at you.
That's pretty good, Chris. Dame, I assume you can name a handful of teams all over the place, right?
Chelsea.
It's good.
The soccer landscape is a bit confusing to me because I don't know how far, like, certain, like, is Barcelona, is that in Milan? And I mean,
Those are three different leagues you've just discussed.
see, that's what I don't understand. I don't get how things are split up.
I'll explain it on another show because it's really interesting. But another show, another day.
And is it split up that way just so billionaires can make more?
That's a good question. It's complicated, but I will explain it.
Okay.
Not today. Kristen, good luck with your life. Dame, good luck with your giggles. Everyone else, stay getting money. Hope it's soft.
Stay ahead with Inside Indiana Business Radio on Demand, your go-to source for the latest business news across the Hoosier State. Join hosts Gary Dick and Alex Brown every weekday morning and afternoon for concise updates on Indiana's top business stories. Subscribe now on your favorite podcast app or listen at ibjpodcasts.com.
Thanks for listening to this IBJ Media podcast. You're probably going to remember this ad. Do you know why? Podcast advertising works. 85% of listeners recalled hearing an ad during a podcast, and 70% of podcast listeners have acted after hearing an ad. So whether you're looking to be heard across the entire IBJ Media Podcast Network, sponsor one of our shows, or just start with a 30-second ad, IBJ Media can help. Contact advertise@ibj.com to learn more.